This is of the day of an update really from what happened to me on Friday the 15th of the 6th 2018. The video I've made public to and shared to Sovereign Paralegals Trust and the support kind members of the trust. I don't like doing it that way, but I've been pushed into a corner. I had to get out of this place yesterday, Saturday, to see a friend of mine. She's got a disability herself. If I don't know if I'd survived by now. But it wasn't for confirmation and support of my doctors in UK Friday late afternoon, and it's recorded the call. 2 major panic attacks. It gave me the number. Well, it's called, which I didn't know about this, it's out of hours, NHS, public sector services, employees. Oh God, it's just unreal. So I had a day not to think about anything yesterday, really, and today it just hits you again. So all good people try and do the best they can. It's just very difficult when I know what I know and people are trying to do what they can and they're struggling themselves, you know. So when you're complex physical disabilities and dealing with the very... Yeah, I need to close that because it's too noisy. I can't concentrate. Thank you for getting that for me. I have a friend, so she's just stepping in at the moment to watch over me. Unfortunately, I've had to have a close observation on my safety. I'm not risking myself. It's just the unlawful discrimination effects and trauma. I mean, what it does, if anyone don't know, when you go through things, it's just like a re-trigger. I don't like using certain social media because they monitor this channel, so I don't say who did what. I have to generalise things. The way I got confirmation, I mean, my sister, I don't know why she didn't get back to me on Saturday, and she tried her best on the Friday. She really did. The plan was to try and help me do some documents and go through things online. It's today, for whatever reason. Being Father's Day, I don't know, but anyway, she didn't get back to me. I had to think on my feet, so to speak, what to do. And I knew a friend of mine would be in the town in my area on a Saturday. So I just tried to switch off the mindset kind of thing, to just get out and just see some sun for a change, you know. Well, obviously that helped, and I'm just exhausted psychologically as well. So basically, in a nutshell, it is, in my area, North Lancs, UK, it's a local government shared services limited. It's the director. She's a female and she's a lawyer. All along I had the suspicion that this would be the very key people that one needs to seek a lawful confirmation. First, it was all to do with blocking one's lawful. There's no anything, there's nothing in writing. There's no statute, or that there is not even in on websites or policies to say members of the public, especially my situation, to aid their disability reasonable adjustments and lawfully to record offer of goods and services subject statute law is known as the Care Act 2014. And these key elements are the statutory wording in the element of part of it, section 42, And in that is adult safeguarding. Well, all these 4 past weeks, all the key questions boils down to is nothing to do with, well, it might have started off that way. It's nothing to do with helping really one's situation. So you just can't make this up, I tell you. I mean, so much, the comments come out of this woman's mouth, it's unreal. It's trying to brush aside everything I've ever, all my videos on this channel reference to disrepair, what I've done before I got so ill. Then it was dismissing how I ended up in hospital and witnessed. Live video on Facebook by my daughter. And this social worker woman trying to dismiss all that. Oh, it's not on your hospital discharge notes. It's not on your... Everything she's trying to say, which I'm going to make public, because it's going to be staying in private. And I seek a remedy on that. It was clear that she was under pressure by somebody in the line of, in the job public role. Somebody above her, and somebody above her, like directors, management, but still public servants, had instructed her to do what she's been doing. She had not been like that to me for the past 4 weeks that I met her with the so-called female advocate. And it's all changed. So when I had the news last week that my mum's dying and severely in a situation that's been in shock and still in shock, don't know anybody can, and you can never overcome all that. I'd emailed bereavement service. And they said I don't know why they can't help until the event happens. So unfortunately, I sought clarification what could be done, if anything, from the doctors. And they were suggesting I'd take more of these diazepam, because I mean, their call was recorded. I had 2 massive panic attacks on the phone trying to talk to them. That is absolutely how I was discriminated against. And the comment said to me that I do not have any physical disabilities. Yeah, it's not just me, by the way. I don't think it's just me experiencing this. But I think it's all to do, well, I can't think, I just know. There's, apparently there was another comment, that is obviously known, with Northamptonshire County Council, Northamptonshire Adult Social Services. They have various departments and nobody knows who's doing what. Oh, anyway, Friday, Disability Law Service, the Vice Service, emailed me all these links that I already knew about for so long, what my rights are, in this statute law side of it all. So it's all personalised. It's all attack onto me personally, verbally, just unreal. So the solution was offered to I've got a tape recorder. I don't even know how to use it yet. It's an old-fashioned one. But to have 2 tape recorders, one for, it's in UK statute law, for disabled people to have the lawful rights to record their meetings. So there's no discrepancies. What's being forced upon me now, and this was when I'm in a vulnerable position on the phone, trying to seek clarification and set the record straight, by the way, of a same housing employee I can't even make this up, that I dealt with. We're going even back to last bloody October. So how long ago was that? We're now in June 2018 in UK. So she died, I would say disinformed, better way to put it, to in this area, another public servant. So when they're looking at, if they have made it an accessible format, which in equality in statute law as well is meant to be lawful duty to do that, well, that's still not forthcoming. So breach of, I don't know what it's called. Is it the Public Servants Code of Conduct, or is it the Health Professional Code of Conduct? There's like a national body in UK, the healthcare professionals to be registered with. well, she's breached certain, her own standards. Yeah, I think it's a standards policy. I haven't quite looked it up because I've been so unwell. And I know of the website, and as I said, anyone wants to look it up, you could check out. It's whether we got children as well. I mean, not just adults in my position, but for children as well, and families of children. So if they're rushed and cut in funding, and one of the comments, which is, I don't know if anyone knows this, but in my area, they've got 3 national claimed to be civil servants. I think it's 3 men in there, over 700 quid in the mainstream media it's portrayed as, to retake over all of the financial running of the county council, and that's all the departments, including adult social care. So within the adult social care, you've got all these other departments. So you got so this is what I found out. I've never, ever, I don't know anyone else knows about this, but there's nothing on the website where the long-term physical disabled team is, who they are, who runs that department, and I was sought clarification on that, because this female was trying to imply that, before she can transfer over, or don't forget, I've only met this woman 4 times, and I've only just, they call it short-term development service team south. So how come they can suddenly make a decision behind the scenes, we need to transfer over to the long-term physical disabled team? And on this claim that they don't have any funding to assist me. Well, isn't that misleading? Because why build up trust with a disabled man or woman, or if you adult, and then suddenly say, we've got no funding? Yet you're signing that document, which, by the way, it's the new what's it called? I don't know the title. It's the 2018 Statute Law Data Protection Regulation. So she claimed she had all my medical notes scanned over electronically from my doctors, and claiming there's nothing up to date for their computer system, when I don't fit in the tick box, by the way. Yes, it's complicated. I can't help having a mixture of complex physical, lifelong disabilities and effects on my life psychologically by trauma, and that's severe. And that's a long time ago, but she's triggered it all off on Friday by her comments to me. So that has led me at risk. I'm reassured the current doctors, I'm no risk to myself. So every minute's a struggle. So at least at the moment, my friends have helped me. And I was just going to put some music on because time goes, and good job. I was able to get out yesterday to seek clarification. In my mind, basically. It's going to be still another struggle. She was forcing upon me to have, again, ignored email that was sent for me on my behalf, because these men and women in their job capacity role as public servants work for the man and woman paying their wages. So how dare they, authoritarian, just because one's trying to speak up for one's lawful rights and one's sought support, kind support out there, their excellent words that I'm living on safe conditions. If you could offer me a temporary place where it will meet my needs, and we can negotiate where it could be, and also if you need to do a review of what I can and cannot do on occupational therapy side point of view for their procedures, then we need a full disclosure on that as well, what could be offered. And that was again resent in such a way that was not aggressive but factual and lawful. Wednesday, 13th of June 2018. That got ignored again. So this female on Friday, the 15th of June 2018, well, her email basically 14th Thursday of June 2018. Well, the shock that individual, Southern Paralegal, you know who he is, he didn't respond and get back to me Friday, so whatever reason, and I've been left not knowing all the weekend what's going on with all that. I did have the kindness of emotional support as well of a lady I've only just met through a support group. He's offered to point, and I know people's got their own lives and busy lives as well, and I really appreciated that. Unfortunately, I didn't realise that particular day I was on the phone for a long time, well, on a messenger app. I've only just met the individual. So I didn't really know how to respond, because that email that I sent to these public servants is for them. I mean, these were head of departments, the ones I've dealt with for so long, and it's clarification again. I mean, there was no response by a advocate. It's a national, known as an advocacy charity, but the local ones are contracted in contract procurement with the public funded. So obviously, the 2 voice message I left, I'd had a suspicion something's going on behind the scenes, because normally she get back to me when she's able to, and she doesn't. So it's obvious that what the Southern Paralegals are doing, and the people relevant support had worded in such a way that's got them. We've got these public servants concerned, and especially when there was an email by a so-called, I think that was again on top, out the blue, really heartless individual, and she's been meant to be a service manager on a subject of, I won't say, they're meant to be helping people with the DW, Department of Works and Pensions in the United Kingdom, it's called, the subject of person dependence, and again trying to get the help support. I mean, I cannot unfortunately help being in a very difficult position with a lot of people like you don't have automatic the support network around to do the extra tasks. I make phone calls and letters and things and emails where I need to do. So being pushed upon me to have a physical assessment in your own home is dangerous, and I'm living in still a dangerous environment. So all that's been ignored again. Everything in the email was set out before, all the period of the past week, 2 weeks now, been ignored. Everything that was up until the last meeting, so 3 times the recording was fine, got the consent of the individuals in a public cafe. All the encouragement I needed to try and get to the meeting in the first place. I mean, this is just blackmailing me. This is unlawful. A public servant blackmailing me. If I don't record, if I don't stop recording my own personal use only audio to aid my disabilities, I will not get the offer any care assessment at all. Well, that's a breach of natural statute law in due process anyway, let alone common law. I don't know how it works with contract law, but now in the individual capacity in a job role, professional job role, which she's actually breached her own. I mean, how are these going to be accountable? Who can hold these people accountable when there's, I know exactly who's meant to be, responsible, but because they don't like the fact that I held public servants accountable and abuse in my home before, well, how can anybody consent to the same company? Oh, by the way, they're merged all these years on. I'm not trying to hash up, meaning dig up the past, but if no one's been held accountable what they did to me before my own home, and why I had to get my private life arrangement trying to help me in my own home since, they've been waiting for this opportunity to push me up my own home yet again. And it's happened before, and I know how they do it. It's just worse, because the cutbacks in public funding nationally in the United Kingdom. But this is one of the major areas in the United Kingdom to basically, I mean, I know about human rights. I mean, this is Article 8, right to privacy, right to private life. I mean, disability discrimination. I mean, talking about so many statute laws and breaches of it, you know, going on. And not just that individual. If they have a major structure where they have all these too many chiefs and not enough people doing their honourable, lawful duty of care, you know, how much are they getting paid out of the public purse, and then causing this to me on Friday? So it's just lost all trust. I've lost all trust. I can't consent. I mean, the way they're going to use the statute law on me now is, unless I'm looking to work, I've tried to work with these people and they breach every of my lawful right. Everything. Again. So this is why I ended up seeking clarification. I mean, hold on, you know, I got none of my medical records, so I need to know what's made this assumption by a public servant. I don't have any physical disabilities. When I've got so much, it's like my home's a medical hospital, so much equipment that you won't believe, I tell you. And then that, whether they're under, it's no excuse for that individual to come out with the comments she did and said to me. That caused me to make that first video on Friday about it. And I did my best, and my health is deteriorated severely as a result. Trying to put brave face on it. So I do not consent to Olympus care. I know there is, via one's process, I don't know how it works. NHS Foundation Trust, they have a community occupation therapy service. I know they all work together now. And unfortunately, they're making assumption on me. And they're trying to cover up for Home Group Limited employees, National Housing UK company, social housing, by the negligence of 10 months leaving me unsafe in the first place. If this didn't happen, I wouldn't have needed to call these public servants in the first place. You know, my health wouldn't deteriorate. So everything's sewed up locally. Everyone's connected to who. You know, you start investigating. You find out the business linking up. I've just had somebody, well, two people. They are linked up politically in such a way. Unless you find this out by chance, which a friend of mine did for me the other day, you're not going to get anywhere unless you can hold them accountable in private, in trust law, equity law. And this is why I said about, you go on the website, some paralegals, they've got a Facebook page, they've got people, they're just learning a lot themselves. But I had a pot of gold or financial means, I wouldn't be here. If I had support to be able to, whether it's here or whether it's in, you know, dealing with people, knowing how to deal with it. I mean, it's not like babysitting, but I haven't got the blinking support network I used to have, and they know it, and they're taking advantage. The word vulnerable adults, how they go about it, they link up with every private company employee that's funded by the public purse, you know, with the contract side, how it works, and public funded. Your data, the system is all spiritual, by the way. It is a spiritual attack on my spiritual soul. It's absolutely so clear. And I'm not from a religious. I don't belong to a particular religion. I have my own beliefs. So I know it is to try and drag me down to their level. And that was clear by her reaction and comments on me on Friday. She didn't get the desired result on that effect on my psychological mindset. I'm still fragile, of course, because anybody, when you're going through, I know who I am. I am here, breathing, taking every moment as it goes, slowly, for my physical health as well sake, and my safety, well-being. But I will not ever be abused, verbally, discriminated. I will not ever trust that woman again. I build up. Trust takes time, and encouragement takes time with strangers you don't know in their job capacity. And how can public employees, not everyone's like this, by the way, but unfortunately, I did my best. Did my best to engage. I can no longer do it the way they want. It needs to be on my terms. If they refuse and deny, it means they're going to try, and I know they're doing this already behind the scenes, pushing their statute law on mental health on me by causing this emotional trigger constantly now. I don't know anyone that can cope with the intrusiveness, the type of questions about your personal life to strangers. Although you might think they're in the professional job role, but they're still strangers. And looking at all your data. And when you're ready, I don't know how anybody can cope. I really don't. And for somebody that has always been able to speak up, I'm trying still. When you're ill already and getting worse in the physical health, it's like they're just parasites clinging on to blinking. Oh, I don't know, but I tell you, it's pure evil. I'm not going to spend any more time on this now. I have to limit everything I do now. So I was seeking a remedy, basically, a lawful remedy. They've no authority over me. There's such a presumption. So I'll go back to the director of Catherine Ainshaw. She has the duty of care to make sure her employees that working for her and the 3 temporary civil servants or temporary CEO, man or woman, at the County Council are holding their employees accountable for the harm and alarm, stress is caused to me now. My family member, for whatever reason, she hadn't got back to me, and I've got a suspicion why. My friends checked out the business app and linking connections to these key men and women in their job public role position and who they're connected to. And I'm not going to get a remedy there. One's a justice of the peace, one's a PA to or connections to the crime commissioner in my area. And it's all just sewed up like that. And I know by the offer, I'm not refusing. If they can offer me goods and services lawfully and honourably in full disclosure to meet my needs. But I need to go through my GP now as well. And on my notes, it clearly states certain things about my personal disabilities and how it affects me everyday life. Why does anyone get left for years on medications and not monitored physically, your physical disabilities? What operations may now be available, you know? You're just left in a heap. Just left. It feels that way. I don't know whether it's all the cutbacks going on, but as I said, I wouldn't have ended up calling up these the way they work now. I mean, you build a great big public building at the expense of the public person, sell it off, and yet you turn around and say to someone like me, in the middle of all this, trying to get the National Statute Law, reasonable adjustments and Care Act assessment and statute law, we have no funding left. We have to transfer it to the department. How the hell is anyone with so much going on in their life able to trust someone else? Being passed around like a bloody parcel. This is unlawful. I'm not a bloody well parcel to be passed about or put on your tick box exercise. You're dealing with my private life, my personal documents, and you're deliberately protecting those that's caused me harm in my area for so damn long. And I've got witnesses to so much that was gone on. And I use the statute system to hold people accountable what they've done to me before in my own home. And yet, you know, that takes time, and I haven't got time. So I need some more medication, basically. The individual doctor I spoke to on Friday said I would get some emergency supply, but I never did. Don't know what happened with that. But I've got these natural herbs, and I know about natural food, you know, like what helps the body, the mind, body and soul, spirit. So, and I need to get old because my friend needs to just help me. My glands don't help. It's just re-aggravated. That's what stress. It's not just, excuse me, it's not just stress, you know, it's unfinished business, you know, with a dying mum, the grieving process, you know, and I'm not coping with that. But unfortunately, there's a robot at the end of the phone on Friday. They didn't give a heart. They didn't give a monkeys. In the email, it was very straightforward. And they're just robots. Where's the heart gone? Where's the real genuine people I used to know? Who used to care about their jobs to help people like me? Where are they gone? Where there's good, I've seen good people. I've known really nice people. I've seen goodness in people, you know. It just breaks my heart to see so many people in this kind of job that it's meant to help people like I. And they just, whether or not they're under stretch themselves, this is seriously had an add-on negative effect on my people like me in our lives. I can't help the way I'm living. But it's made out that I'm causing this to myself when I'm not. And nobody's doing it to me but the negligence of those that have blocked all the repairs to my home in such a way that I've done everything for so long to hold me accountable. So at the end of the day, I've always said, for like last summer, well, perhaps towards the end of the year, I've offered to move temporarily my lawful rights and statute law and social housing to a place that would meet my needs temporarily. I could be there for 3 or 4 weeks. And that would meet all of my needs. But that got rejected. Got blocked for 2 blokes that don't even know me in the housing employee in my area. And I've got evidence of all that. And you don't block housing report repairs for a reason, do you? If you do legit, you want to help somebody in the job capacity role, you just make sure there is like a brief summary of a repair report and what's required of one. And because nationally, not just me, there's shortage in any accessible housing. You just need to see this, that is mainstream media about it all. And there's other circumstances surrounding this area which is not safe for me. And I can't go into all that because it's too much to go into as well. So I've had all these reports done before over the years, housing, OT reports, you name it, I've had it, and to try and move away. But the new system now, nothing was available, like bungalows or anything, because of my medical equipment as well, So I'm back to square one, but now in a more serious situation. So if there was a place where there's a room, you have shared facilities, and that could be rehabilitation. A mix of similar people like myself who are not going to get better in their physical health. And there's a miracle cure. I would like to think that would be a solution, but again, it's all about funding, isn't it? It's all about contracts. It's all about, I would just like to be peaceful, to be happy, to be settled, to be safe, to be in an environment that I can try again, to neutralise talent and learn new skills. And that's all being prevented. It's a basic human right, I would have thought, in United Kingdom in 2018. They want people at my age group to work. They always keep going on about that, don't they? Oh, what can you do? Well, give me the bloody chance. Give me a bloody life that I can be proud of, I can feel comfortable with. Not stuck in hell. I feel it's hell. This environment, that's not my fault. But the way the system works in Care Act 2014, they keep saying all this constantly, doesn't matter who it is, in man or woman, whatever private or public funded company, they keep saying this to me. And it's more recently again. Oh my God, you'll have to live like this. Oh, we need to do an adult safeguarding referral. I am so damn fed up with that. Well, I have produced the evidence. That's not my doing. But we're talking about a national corporation here, the board of CEOs, that doesn't give a monkey's butt to ordinary individuals like I. And I even said if there was a facility like this national housing company had, but how it works in statute law, you need an area connection to move to. So if my son had wanted to really help me in these past months and to put our differences aside, and I really don't know what's gone on with that, then that could have been my area connection, move away down South UK. And then my sister's promise for so long, bless her heart, to look at moving down Wales. Area connection again. I can't carry on living in this area, that's for sure. But the way I have religious family all around this area, they do not come to see me, they do not visit me, they do not contact me because I'm not part of their religion. They're not true Christians when they're like that. I've got adult son and daughter, yes and no, with grandchildren. What, just because they're not part of their life, they're using my life. What's wrong? I'm just me. There's nothing unlawful I've ever done. I haven't harmed a man and a woman. I've just had a life like anybody. But no, unfortunately, I put it this way, if they said to me, right, okay, we can find you a place that's going to be 6 months living there, and then we can re-gut all this flat out and make it accessible for you. Well, let's consider that option then. But I know the financial side of it all. Like my neighbours, able-bodied neighbours, keep saying to me, well, I do see the odd one or two. They're not going to spend that kind of finance. They're not going to this housing company. They can't do it on my flat by now, in the wet room by now, and I've not gone on about all this. Because there's people homeless right now. And look what happened to those people that lost their lives in London, in the tower blocks, you know. I'm just one individual out of thousands, more than that perhaps, unseen, unheard of, the United Kingdom. And occasionally you might hear the stories in the mainstream media. Occasionally you might stumble across my video channel. I'm extremely careful not to mention any particular individuals, because I know in the national picture how things are. And I know some people are just trying their best. And I'm not saying every public servant is like this, because I have come across those that do their best. I really have. But unfortunately, at recent, the way this individual talked to me was like somebody senior had been breathing down her neck, and she was absolutely like heartless in her tone of voice and what she said to me. This is my private home. Nobody has access to this without my consent. You forced me into verbally consent on the phone, and that's fully rebutted now, as of today. If anyone tries to trespass against my body and me, there's instructions in place to take this public into such an extreme, in formats in such a way, whether I survive here on this earth or not, as a consequence. I will... This will just set the pathway to raise awareness of the seriousness of what's happening in the United Kingdom. We're not just for children and their families, but for people of my age group. And don't even get me started how the elderly are being treated. In the sake of saving the public purse, this is costing the public more. If you're voluntary paying your council taxes or taxes or whatever, no, it's costing you more, because I've ended up having to turn to the public services. I've had to turn to the extra out of, like in, I know about certain subjects over the years. So I'll get through this. It's just another major struggle in one's personal life. I'll get through this eventually. But I'm saying this now, if you force your unlawful authority, assumption onto my personal body and trespass into my private environment, there's things already been in place a long time ago now that will take this further. I might not be able to physically do much about it myself, but I have a couple of private contacts that I've known for a long time that will. But that is the last resort. That's not a threat. That's just a last resort. I am still willing to try and work with people honourably and lawfully, and full disclosure of full terms and conditions of what you require of I. If I had anything to protect or hide from anybody, why would I sign this new documentation data protection sharing to aid me, to help me to receive the quality of life one requires? But no, the data's been abused, misinterpreted, rushed through, not looked at, and then I'll get that on Friday. I have to keep it short now. I need to go. I'll keep this public, and I know it'll be playbacks and analysing the voice. I'm no risk to myself, by the way. If it happens to me, it's not by my hand. It's not by my private eye friends, nothing. It's by those that know of me, that don't want me to have equality of life unlawfully. It's by the state system, by the way. Yep. I've got coping, learning. I've always learned coping strategies, and it's just tapping into that again. I know my mum will be in a better place. I know that. It's just having to work through all the grieving and the shock and everything still. Taking a deep breath and taking 1 minute at a time. And we'll go through difficulties, and all due respect, I tell you, I think that individual needs to have support, because she is obviously not making excuses what she's done to me, but she needs support. She's obviously got a case full of files and files and people breathing down her neck. And if that happens, which obviously has happened to me, that means mistakes are making, isn't it? The wrong decisions are making, rushed decisions are making. And that causes a mistake and affects the individual they're meant to be helping in their lives. Big time. So I'm going to end it and close this off now, because time's getting on. And, well, I seek clarification. And if you are working in, meant to be assisting and supporting people in my position, thousands, not just I, then you need to make your information accessible. What department does what? Who's connected to who? This is the head of department. This is what we do. Make the documents accessible format. Okay, let's build a working relationship. And then hold that individual accountable. That individual didn't say sorry at all. She didn't even. She's defending the individual that's already behind causing me harm. So it's now trying to construct a format and honour and lawfully to respond back. Why did I call her up? Because I was trying to work with them. I was trying to engage. Instead of emails to and fro, seeking clarification and getting nowhere, and pressing on the time and scales and things, well, what can I do? I've done my best. You don't believe how the intrusiveness, you're monitored. This is not made up. You can research this yourself, investigation of power, statute law, and they can monitor your media, your home, your environment, and people you talk to, especially when it's come on to alleged safeguarding. And please don't get me wrong, if that's generally needed by individuals, but they're making up fake information about me all the time, like they did last year. Now we're 2018. It's always a year on. Yeah, it'd be a year on. Where's the date now? In 2 days' time, it'd be a year on. So that clarification, that proof of documentation is quite long, it's quite detailed, and the last documentation to the housing side of things was 12th of 2nd, 2018. That would be resent to the CEO. The best possible is going to be done tomorrow, and a copy will going off to the, so far as I know, the only email that's available to certain public servant. They're not going to be expecting it. But don't know how to do that side at the moment. I think it has to go into the housing, because a copy that also does need to go to what's called in one's area, the subject adult social care side of it all, because they obviously haven't got one, and they're being misinformed by this particular local area housing employee female. Yes, and that was a shock on its own. And by the, like, attacking my character like I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Yet again, the record needs to be set of that correction, and that's all I tried to do on Friday. And the individual I spoke to, public servant, didn't want to know. And yet, she didn't want to know, and I met her 4 times, and 3 of those times were recorded. That the reason why I'm like this is because of negligence, the breach of contract by this National Housing Company. You just look back on this YouTube channel about my videos on the subject of the housing disrepair, because I really thought it was just about housing, but it's more than that, and how it started, because you'll see the dates going back last July, leading up to all that year. I had no clue it's going to be linked up to a reason to get me out my home. I've rented since 2009. So that's why I prepared my mind for months to consider the offer to move somewhere else. But no, they're not going to be happy until I'm into a institutional environment. But it won't be what I just described that I require or would better be official to me all the way around. They want to push me into their mental institution. On what grounds? They want me to psychologically collapse emotionally. And why would I be offered this crisis number out of the blue, which I've now found who is running that service, and I found YouTube channels of people that are in crisis in that subject that they can't even call their out of hours number in their particular location. And if they do, too many times they've been, it's all really all wrong. There's more protection for men and women in the public servant role now. I can't find that document now. I haven't got time right now. It's all to do with, if there's too many communications or emails or correspondence deemed to be harassment of a public servant, well, what about the unlawful harassment and the abuse and discrimination to individuals and to me that I've got evidence of, Friday just gone as well. And the appropriate questions non-related to care subject as well. And not make anything accessible format as well. Well, that's a breach of duty of care. So, yeah, that document dated November 2017, Northamptonshire County Council website. I don't know which link. That accessible, that website is not accessible format. No, it's meant to be. But you're just going to be getting the run around. So I'll go back just to the last end of this now. You want to look at procurement website on www.lgss limited. Oh, I'll correct that statement. You want to look at this website, www.lgss law limited. So that stands for Local Government Shared Services Law Limited, across the way in Wandsworth, East UK. And they are a bunch of team of bar society law members, lawyers, barristers, lawyers, men and women, to protect the image and all their contracts within every department, more so than ever now, 2018, with Northamptonshire County Council. And again, the political arena behind the bigger picture of it all nationally is to close down this county council, the borough council, to create 2 unitary councils. Well, okay, people say that's in the pipeline, but when you're at the end of it, trying to access goods and services, and you don't know what the hell's going on, and even you get to find certain comments by certain people who work in certain departments. I'm not going to divulge you that I found things out by. We don't even know who's meant to be doing what. How does that leave any man and woman in one similar position to know who's doing what and where to go? Oh, and seek clarification, there's no harm in doing that. That's lawful and honourable. And I wish I'd never made the phone call now. And they do it in such a way, and they do the word in such an email and the word in such a way that they deliberately do things at a certain time, a word in such a time, so it deliberately wears you out in your energy level. So all those shout out to anybody that don't know again. I can't remember the website, but do a Google search. You should be able to come out the website or go on the Facebook page of Sovereign Paralegals. Everyone's trying to do their best, trying to get knowledge. I would emphasize big time. Anyone dealing with the state system, whatever subject is, statute, laws, state system, and I don't know I can't comment about other towns or cities, but I'm not there. And I can't really comment about other subjects in different parts of the world I do not know about. I could only go on first-hand knowledge, and this is my truth of my facts of the record. Signing out Sunday, and all those that are fathers and potential fathers, I hope you've had a peaceful day. I do not know my father, and never have, and I just call this is for my mum. Another day for my mum. It's just another day. I don't think it's a special day for my mum. And I know she'll be in a better place. And sometimes I wish I can turn the clock back and not know what I know, all these subjects over the years. But I am spiritual waking up now. But when it's my time, when it is, the consciousness, whatever spiritual energy is around us, is my time to go, is then. I'm not going to be pushed over the edge by nobody. So, again, I will work honourably and lawfully with full disclosure of terms and conditions, full disclosure for all those employees representing these public and private companies. Failure to do that honourably and lawfully, you are trespassing against my body. You're trespassing against I, as a woman, living, breathing, just equal to you, a man and woman, just because I'm not in your job position role, just because the system likes to word, unfortunately, ill-parment in health, I like to call it, setbacks in life. We're all going through different situations. Before you just stop for a moment to think what you're doing. To try and, I don't know if you know what to do or what you're doing, you're just told what to do. I'm just doing my job. Mistakes happen. And I expect a full apology for the harm that's caused to me by that public servant on behalf of Northamptonshire County Council. You fail to do that, then, as I said, it has to be reported. And if you want to try and use my disability against me for not making an apology to me and putting it in writing for the direct discrimination to somebody, then you're failing in your duty of care. Don't even get me started how you are negligent in your professional job role on the national United Kingdom. It's known as health care professionals, and that includes occupational therapists, it includes social workers. These are professionals in their job capacity role, not of them are public funded. I have nothing against the woman individually, but the way in her personal job role, she has breached every standard going towards me on Friday. And the call is being recorded, calling these medical doctors on Friday. Unfortunately, I've not had a major, massive panic attack in years. We're talking about many years. That's how serious it is. And I can't not let this go, because how many other people in my position are there going through this? I won't let it judge my judgment, any new offers coming through lawfully, but now it needs to be all done in writing. And there will be notices on my doors and windows denied and private access straight away. Yeah, I know. My friend's with me. I've got another friend that's going to put that up. Anyone trespasses on the assumption, see my video channel or any social media are monitoring my private life information and jumping to the wrong conclusions, well then again, you will be acting in your personal capacity as a man and woman, and you'll be personally held accountable, and I will be personally suing you on a private level. I might not have the help to do that, but I've got people in the pipeline to do that, and they know how to do that in the private. But for now, do not make such assumption. This is video for anyone out there that do not know how it's going kicking off in the United Kingdom for so many people like I. And if I'm educated and know what I'm doing in my position, just think about those that don't and how they're being treated. God forbid, it's not going to happen to everyone. So let's just think there are decent people in their job roles that will be acting honourably and lawfully. Because I'm not going to be having left in this unsafe position. So there's something that I need to go and do. As I said, I think I've said that a third time now. Thank you for checking in, and there's nothing against these particular company employees in there generally what they're meant to be doing, and it's a tough position perhaps nationally for all types of services and men and women. But when you slip up and it causes an effect on the individual that you're meant to be offering goods and services, no. I do not like, I'm just going to wait to see if you do offer in your job capacity a full rebuttal and apology. But I don't think it's going to come forward. I don't think you're going to be honourable in doing that in your job capacity role, because you'll be protected in the national, well, I can only go local policies and procedures in your job role. Yeah. And the public that you're meant to be serving, you'll be hiding behind your job capacity role. It's such a shame, because you came across like an individual that you knew what you were doing, that you were going to try your best, and now people's been breathing down your neck. And you're making assumption about my private life and character that's got nothing to do with what you're meant to be helping me with a period of 4 weeks. A very short period, by the way. 4 times. Can't make this up. God bless everybody. Anyone out there that don't know what the hell I'm talking about, you just see my video from Friday. I tried to explain the best I could, such a state. I do not like making that public. I do not like that. But if it's happened to me, who else? So you want to judge me, anyone out there, you look in your bloody mirror yourself. You only want to go through what people like I's going through. And you're a bloody public servant out there. You don't believe this is going on in your work environment, or anybody, whatever subject you might be employed as. Well, I think you need to look around you. You need to see who's doing what. You need to be careful about your tick box in a computer system. You need to be careful about people's data. I do not want to go further, take this as far as one's lawfully able to, because I just would like to just get on with my life. But you're putting me in a position I have no choice. I have a choice, of course, yes, I mean by that, but you're putting me in the position that you unlawfully caused what you have done to me. And I will be seeking a remedy, and I hope I can get support, and that could be a mutual lawful remedy and move on. You can't sweep this under the carpet now. Take care, God bless. How many playbacks? Yeah.